of Sports with Sean and Kobe. Today we got a lot to talk about, a lot of sports here today, and we're going to start off here with Maryland-Michigan State game. I know I got a big smile under this mask. I don't think Sean has the same.
I
same
don't,
feeling as
but
me.
I am happy Maryland got what they deserved today. I'm happy they lost. Not a good team, really. I have a stat for you. Michigan State is 1-4 in games that were officiated by Bo Borowski, who was officiating the game yesterday. The calls were terrible. Overall, it was just, they took Michigan State out of the game early. We were hot in the beginning. We were up 10. The calls started not going our way. Went downhill. But I'm happy Maryland lost today and got what they deserved. So.
I mean, that was expected today. Playing Michigan, #1 seed in the Big Ten, probably #1 seed in the tournament as well. You got a good team. I was thinking if Eli Brooks wasn't playing in that game, we have a chance, but Eli Brooks just had himself a day coming back from his ankle injury.
Eli Brooks had a great game. Mike Smith, too.
Yeah.
18 and 15 assists just out of nowhere. He's a transfer from Columbia, but he went off today. And it was a good game. It was fun to watch, but still happy. I think Michigan deserves one of the Big Ten, and that's coming from a Michigan State fans. So.
Well, I was happy that Maryland got the win yesterday. Helps us out in the tournament. After losing 2 straight games to Northwestern and Penn State, I was like, we got to win at least one Big Ten tournament game, and got the job done. 34-30 in the first half, and then come out in the second half, scored 34 again in the game, 57-68. Got some stats here. Guys who played well for you, Aaron Henry, the junior, pretty good. Malik Hall, he had 23 minutes, 19 points. Those were your top 2 scores right there, with 12 for Henry and 19 for Hall. Rocket Watson show up.
We're never going to win games if Rocket Watson doesn't show up. We don't have our bigs didn't play good yesterday. I mean, Joey Hauser played all right, but if we don't show up with bigs, Michigan State will never win a game. It's just not going to happen, and that's what I'm nervous for in the tournament. When our bigs play well, we play well. So, I mean, Maryland's starting center is what, 6'7"?
Yeah.
It's like they play small ball, but Michigan State has like 2 6'11" kids, and neither of them could do anything yesterday. So that was really disappointing to see. But Rocket Watts has to be better. He's going to be a leader of this team next year, and the way he played this year, towards the end of the season he did get better. I'll give him that. But the way he played this year, not what we need from him next year. We need a Cassius Winston kind of player if we want to be good again.
I mean, you still get Aaron Henry back as well, so you get two great players. Maryland over here, we're losing our Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, Daryl Marcel, and then we got the transfer from Alabama, Galen Smith. I'm not really a fan of Galen Smith. He doesn't do big things for us. Not that good. And then the man that comes off the bench, Reese Mona, he's just kind of like one of those guys who just come off the bench, gives a guy a break. Just hope he plays well during his time out there. He doesn't really score, but scoring-wise, Maryland, free throw-wise, that's a team that needs to work on the free throw line. They shoot terrible from the free throw line. I remember
except when they play Michigan State. They always shoot great against Michigan
State. I think Eric Aiello was 8 for 8 from the free throw line, and 4 for 4 after the tech from Tom Izzo.
It's just, I mean, you could see the difference in the beginning of the game. I think Maryland scored 4 field goals in the first half, or like 5. It was something crazy, and they had 34 points. There is no way in any right mind that you think a team should have 34 points with only 4 made field goals. Michigan State came out, they were playing great defensively, and once the call stopped going our way, Bo Borowski, hate that guy, terrible. But once the calls weren't going our way, that's when the game changed. And also, overall, I think that that's probably your biggest win of the season. So like recently, you guys had a skid, beat a team that was hot, and you probably an 8 or 9 seed now in the tournament as opposed to like an 11 or 12. So that's a huge win for Maryland. Congrats to you. I think it was rigged, but.
Well, I think Michigan State will still be in the tournament. They might still stay at an 11 seed, especially with Duke, Kansas, and Virginia out.
Crazy.
So we'll see who's in with that. We'll talk about that much more later with our March Madness predictions. But getting that win was pretty huge. They played today. They didn't play that great. I mean, first half we had a 12. We were up big on Michigan and just let them come back. That's exactly what we do. That's the type of team we are. We're a team that can't score when we need to and can't defend and get stops when we need to as well. The Penn State game showed that. We were up 50-36 with 10 minutes left and only scored 7 points in the half there, so that was pretty bad. But I think the key thing in the Michigan State-Maryland game was turnovers. Turnover ratio, Michigan State had 18 to Maryland's 11 turnovers, so that was big in the game. 3-pointers, not a lot of 3-pointers made by either team. Michigan State was 4 of 16, 25% from 3, and Maryland was 6 of 20, so not really much threes there, but key factor of this game is definitely free throws. Michigan State with 9 of 18, 50%, and Maryland had 20 of 28 free throws. So, team that gets to shoot 28 free throws, I mean,
it's hard to lose.
Yeah,
it's hard to lose if you're shooting 28 free throws in a game. But I agree. Yeah, I mean, not a good 3-point performance from either team. Both more inside teams. They play more inside. So, yeah, overall, I mean, I can't believe it happened, but it is what it is, man. I'm happy they got what they deserved today. I'm gonna pound that all day, all day. I'm just happy they got what they deserved. They didn't deserve to win yesterday. They definitely didn't deserve to win today.
I mean, I feel like we definitely should have had a better chance today. I mean, I was going into Michigan State. I wasn't too confident either. After losing 2 games to 2 teams who shouldn't even been on the same level playing with us. Northwestern's last and second to last in the Big Ten, and Penn State's just right in front of them barely. So I wasn't expecting too much. In the first half, when you guys were up 12, I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
I thought it was over. I 100% thought it was over. I thought we looked great. I was so excited for the tournament. I was like, we can maybe beat Michigan again tomorrow. Like, you never know. But obviously it didn't go our way. And I'm looking here right now. We have foul on Marcus Bing. Like, we were up 17-6. We were up 11 points. Your next couple points came from 2 free throws, a 3, more free throws. It just that changed the game like that. So there's not much you can do when Bill Borowski's reffing the game. But Oborowski is terrible. 1-4 in games he's officiated. He officiated the game in Michigan too when we lost by 30. It was terrible calls. So he doesn't like the Spartans. He's probably Wolverine alum. Who knows?
Well, that's all we have for this segment. We'll go to commercial break and be right back. And we're back, and right now we're gonna come back and talk about March Madness and what we're thinking so far and our predictions. So, Sean, what you got here? Who do you think's going to win it all?
I think Baylor's got it. I mean, they just have so many weapons, like Masio Teague is a shooter, Davion Mitchell, I think. I thought it was Donovan Mitchell's brother, but I guess it's not. I looked it up. I think that they are the most complete team by far, and they have a ton of guys returning from last year when they were ranked number 2 again. So I think they're ready to take the next step and win the tournament this year.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I see Baylor because I really don't see any other team making a big impact right now, showing me like they're that good. I mean, Gonzaga's the overall 1 seed, but honestly, I still try to figure out who in the world do they play that's good. I mean, Baylor's in the Big 12 conference. They got West Virginia. They got to deal with Kansas. They got teams like that. Texas.
Oklahoma State. That's a great conference. Probably the second best this year behind the Big Ten. But piggybacking off Gonzaga, I think that I would be more confident in Gonzaga if they lost in the WAC tournament, in the West Coast Conference. Just because I don't see Gonzaga being a team that goes undefeated in a season. Like, that's the only way they're going to win the championship. They can't lose a game this year, which I just don't see happening. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. You never know, but I definitely don't think that. I don't think that I can trust them enough to win.
I agree with you on that. And speaking of talking about the bracket here, I mean, they have Kansas as a 3 seed, but COVID kind of struck now, and you got Kansas, Virginia, and Duke out of it. I think Duke was already going to be out of it no matter what. They might have been able to
The only way they
sneak
were
in.
getting in is if they won the ACC tournament.
Yeah,
So
they might have been able to sneak in there, but you had Kansas as the 3 seed and Virginia here. Virginia as the 4, so this kind of gonna be weird to see.
it's going to be
who
weird to
takes
see
the
what they
spot.
do with Virginia and Kansas, and if they can even play them, because COVID's just messing everything up. Like, I was getting flashbacks because a year ago today was everything got canceled, right? So this morning we get Virginia's canceled, like Georgia Tech's going to the ACC final. So I'm like, that just doesn't sound right. And then hour later it's Kansas. Yesterday was Duke. So I'm a little nervous on if they're going to even have a tournament now, with all these teams tested positive and being quarantined. Hopefully they still let Virginia and Kansas play, but you never know, and you can never be too confident or not confident enough. So.
And if they don't, I mean, there could be a few teams that actually sneak in. I feel like seedings could definitely change, and this could have a huge impact on the tournament.
Definitely.
Someone's going to take over the 3 and 4 seed, and then what about the other seeds that are missing and all this other stuff? There's a lot of X factors here in this situation with coronavirus hitting these teams that are big seeds in the tournament. I mean, Virginia, who are they supposed? Virginia's supposed to play University of North Carolina Gulf Coast, I think. I mean,
Greensboro. Yeah.
Greensboro, and
Yeah.
then you had Kansas against Colgate. So,
I think if they don't play, it opens up the door for another ACC team like Syracuse. Syracuse played them really well in the ACC tournament. Lost on a buzzer beater. It was heartbreaking. I felt terrible for them. I'm a New Yorker, so like, I know like what that team does. I follow them, but I think with Virginia, if they can't play in the tournament, like let's say they get another positive test and they're quarantined and they can't play, I think it opens the door for Syracuse, for sure. That's my first team then.
I mean, the last 4 in, you got
Oh,
Drake,
wait,
Colorado State,
they're already in right now. I'm stupid.
Syracuse, Utah. Last 4 buys, VCU, UCLA, Michigan State, and Louisville. So the first 4 out, Ole Miss, St. Louis, Boise State, and Seton Hall. I mean, depending on how Seton Hall plays, and these other 3 teams could really decide if they get in or not.
I haven't watched much of Ole Miss, St. Louis, or Boise State, just because, when I'm going to watch them. But I have watched some Seton Hall. I watched Seton Hall play yesterday, and they're solid. They're a good team. I think they can make a run in the Big East tournament, and obviously they would not. They're automatically in, but I think that they can seriously make a run, and I could see them jumping another couple teams. I don't know who they play today. Let's see, but
I mean, the Big East tournament is definitely up for grabs.
especially with Nova, with Nova out of it.
I mean, you got Georgetown versus Seton Hall, and then Connecticut and Creighton. So those 4 teams battling out for to see who makes it to the finals there. So that's gonna be a big game. I feel like Creighton and Seton Hall, but I wouldn't be surprised if Georgetown gets another upset here. I mean, the way they
they've been
played
playing
yesterday.
Great. So well. 2 upsets in a row. But I do think Seton Hall's a good team. I think they can beat them. Mamu, Miles Gale, they're a good team. And then UConn, Creighton. I honestly think that UConn could beat Creighton. I think UConn has a really underrated team. They have players like Book Knight. He's a lottery pick this year probably. Jalen Gaffney, great player in high school. I haven't really watched much of him now, but I'm sure he's still doing his thing. But yeah, I think that we're gonna get Seton Hall and UConn in the Big East final tomorrow. And I think Seton Hall wins, and I think they automatically get into the tournament because they have a good team this year.
So you think they upset Creighton? I think Creighton has a great team. I mean, they got a 7'6" center, and their point guard, I think it's like Zagorowski, something like that. I think he's a great player, great shooters. I mean, Creighton's whole team has great shooters.
Yeah.
The whole team can shoot. So if I feel like if they get on tonight, I don't think UConn can stop them. Because the one game I watched, they were playing Nova the second time around. They were down 22, and just shot the lights out the gym. Came back, would still lose by like 5, but made it a 1-point game at some point in there. So I wouldn't doubt Creighton and the shooters that they have.
I mean, I agree. I think Creighton's a good team, and I think they're in the tournament no matter what already. They've been good all season, but I don't know. There's something about UConn in the Big East tournament. Like maybe it's just from the past with Kemba and Shabazz Napier, but UConn in the Big East tournament is just different. Like it's a different feeling, you know. So I think that they can make a run for sure.
I mean, yeah, I agree with you there. So I guess that's going to be a good game. That's 9 p.m. tonight, and then you got Georgetown and Seton Hall playing later today as well. So 2 good games. Georgetown, Seton Hall at 6, and then Creighton, Connecticut at 9. See for the Big East. So that's gonna be good. I mean, they're gonna have 4 Big East teams coming into the tournament, and I feel like if one of them gets hot, they can make a Final Four run. So that's gonna be interesting to see.
Definitely.
But that's all we have for this segment here. We're gonna go to commercial break and come back shortly. Okay, here we're gonna talk about now the deal with Dak Prescott. How do you feel about this deal?
It's a huge deal, you know. It's a big commitment. 4 years, $160 million, maximum value of $164 million with $126 million in guaranteed money. So he's a rich man, and I'm a little jealous about it.
I feel like that's a good deal. I feel like Dak deserves it. What he's done for this team. I mean, this team without Dak, I mean, it showed this season that Dak is a key factor to this team. I mean, especially Zeke. Zeke definitely needs Dak.
Zeke needs Dak, 100%. And I think that him signing this deal and coming back and returning to Dallas, because it was up in the air. Like, everybody thought he was going to come back, but you never really knew. I think him doing this, automatic NFC East favors to the Cowboys. I mean, I don't see any team keeping up with them. Worst conference in football, 100%.
Oh,
They're terrible. Terrible.
Didn't have a winning record this year. I mean, and then a team with no name wins
Literally.
the Washington football team.
Washington football team wins the conference, but I think that this really makes Dallas by far the #1 contender for the NFC East.
I mean, yeah, you got Dak has a lot of threats there too. You got CeeDee Lamb, amazing. He had an amazing rookie year last year. Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper. So he has the threats there. I mean, I feel like if Dak didn't get injured last year, they actually Dallas actually gets a winning record and wins that division for sure. But went down in week 5 with that very scary ankle injury there, like dislocated.
I mean, before he went down, I'm pretty sure he was leading the league in passing yards, right?
Yeah.
I think 2 weeks after he got injured, he was still leading the league in passing yards. So he's obviously a game changer. And I mean, I hate the Cowboys. I think most people do, but I'm happy for them because they got their guy.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to make it interesting in the NFC East now. You got Dak over there. Don't know who's going to start for Washington. I'm going to take a wild guess, Tyler Heineke for the time being.
I think it has to be, unless they go quarterback in the first round. You know, that's possible, but it's all up in the air. You know, so I think that Dak is a big difference maker, and I also think he got $3 million. He has a $42 million average salary, and Mahomes, by far the best quarterback in the league. He should be paid the most, 100%. We agree on that, right?
Yes.
Okay. He got 45, so I think that they're putting him in Mahomes level, which is like, that's a big commitment because if you're saying Dak is on the same level as Mahomes, that's saying something.
I definitely don't think Dak is on the level of Mahomes. I mean, Dak is a great quarterback. I mean, definitely the star player there. Has a big impact, but I don't think he's like Mahomes type quarterback.
I don't think anybody is, really. Nobody in the league right now is like that, 25 years old doing what he's doing. When the Super Bowl is going, more Super Bowls, so.
I mean, I have it here in 5 seasons. Dak had the team records, 7 400 passing games, and 24 rushing touchdowns, and the most by any quarterback ever in Dallas history. He's second to Tony Romo in 300-yard passing games with 15, which will probably break this season, honestly. He's proven to be clutch. He has 15 game-winning drives. But the Cowboys have missed the playoffs in 3 of the past 4 seasons, and one this year with Prescott's absence. So as much as a great quarterback he is, they just can't make it to the playoffs, can't win the NFC.
You got to take in consideration too the miracle year from the Eagles. You know, when they won the Super Bowl with Foles. So I'd say this year Prescott's not there. We'll take that away. You know, like that's fine. So they missed it 2 of the last 3 years before that, plus the Wentz season. I mean, I think that Prescott's going to take the Cowboys to the playoffs for many years to come.
Hopefully they actually won a playoff game too. It's been a while. Everything went downhill since the Dez no catch, which I 100% think it was definitely a catch.
It was a catch, yeah. It was a catch. I'll give it to him. But you know, like you said, it's gonna help. It's gonna help the team somewhat. It's gonna help Zeke. Zeke fell off. I had Zeke on my fantasy team. Terrible in the second half of the season. And I think that it's the best move they could have made because who knows whether he was coming back, especially after the ankle injury. Because like he's playing under the tag, he's risking everything for himself, and then it actually like that risk comes to life, it comes to fruition, and you can't really do anything about it. But they got their guy. That's all that matters in the end.
I think Dallas here has a chance, but I think they struggle defensively. I mean, I don't think the offense. I think the offense is set. Honestly, you got your 3 good receivers. You got Zeke as your running back, Dak back. I mean, I think they have the best O-line in the league.
They're up there. I mean, Frederick retired, so it's a little bit worse now. But they're still great. I mean, they still have Tyron Smith, Lyle Collins, I think, but they have a great O-line. I mean, they always will. They always draft O-line and then draft the quarterback. So like that guy's good for years to come. But I think they can address defense in the draft for sure. They pick at 10. The CBS NFL has them taking Zayden Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa, who's a great prospect. I could see them going with like a Micah Parsons maybe.
That's what I was thinking. They get Micah Parsons from Penn State, a great linebacker there.
Yeah, so Caleb Farley even, cornerback from Virginia Tech, because you know they have the Diggs kid, Stefan's brother or something like that. That's their best corner, and they let Byron Jones walk, who's so good. I don't know why they did that, but I think that it can definitely be a good year for the Cowboys, and I think they can turn it around for sure.
Oh yeah, just all they gotta do is fix the defense, get a bunch of draft picks going, and just go from there.
Another thing I can see them going is, I mean, call me crazy, but I can see them taking Kyle Pitts. You know, if he's there at 10, it's hard not to take Kyle Pitts. You know, they have so many weapons on offense already. They have Dak, they have Gallup, they have Cooper, they have CeeDee Lamb, like you said, Zeke. They don't have a tight end really.
Who is their tight end?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think it's a big name. But Kyle Pitts is probably the best receiving tight end prospect we've seen in a very long time, and I think he's going to be really good.
I feel like he's a tight end, but he's definitely built like a receiver. Like, he definitely can play receiver a bit.
Yeah, I'd say top 5 receivers in the draft, Kyle Pitts is in there, just because he's so good.
Yes.
I'd put Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith over him, but then I'd put Pitts next probably.
One tight end. They have Dalton Schultz. Definitely not a big name guy there. Not really a big name tight ends really for this team.
Yes. I think they could use a tight end, honestly. But like you said, defense too. They definitely need some people. They still have Leighton Vander Esch, who played great. Jalen Smith is pretty good. Sean Lee's getting up there in age, but that's where I think they could take a linebacker for sure. Because their front four, their defensive line isn't bad. They're 4-3. They had Marcus Lawrence off the bench, who's great. But I think they go linebacker, cornerback, or my sleeper is Kyle Pitts.
I agree. And that's all we have for this segment here. We'll go to commercial break and be back shortly to talk about NFL free agency. We are back here with another segment, and we're going to talk about the NFL free agency here. We're going to start off with talking about Tom Brady here and signing with the Bucs again. I think that's a pretty good deal there. 1 year, $14 million. You said.
I think Brady got $22 million. for an extension. But I mean, Tom Brady is the best football player of all time. I think that's unquestioned. But I can't stand him. You know, I'm a Jet fan. He tormented our division for 20 years, and then it's like, when is this guy gonna leave? When are we gonna be able to take the next step? So I feel like the thing with Tom Brady, which is so weird, not only has he gotten better as he's gotten older, he looks younger as he gets older.
Oh, it's weird.
It's so weird.
I don't think it doesn't age. He doesn't age.
There's
I mean, you look at Drew Brees, Big Ben, those guys. You see them, you can tell they're aging.
They're getting older. Tom
look
Brady
at Tom
looks
Brady.
better than he did 10 years ago.
It's weird.
It's so weird. But I mean, great for the Bucs. You know, they had a fun time. That city deserved it. Tampa deserved it. But
I mean, Tampa had a great year in general.
Yeah.
You get the Lightning winning the NHL Cup. You get the Rays making the World Series since 2008, and then you get the Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl. So you get three major teams going down there and playing for a championship, and you get 2 out of 3. So that's a lot of partying down there. And then you get even better. You get the best player
in the history of the sport. You know,
NFL back, Tom Brady. So they're very excited down there.
I'm sure.
And they're definitely gonna try to get. Brady's gonna get number 8, and like he says, the next one's his favorite one.
He I think he posted on Twitter today. It was a picture of him signing the contract, and he said, "Countdown to number 8, LFG. Can't wait to be back in Tampa." So I mean, he's gonna win another Super Bowl. There's no way he doesn't. He somehow miraculously wins the Super Bowl every year. The Bucs look so good at the end of the season. It's so good in the
and
Super
then
Bowl.
they got pretty much their team back. You sign Godwin and you get Levante Davis both back. So Bruce Arians, like you said, they're not going anywhere, just like you said, and so pretty much
Piggybacking off of that, though, they do need Shaq Barrett back. You know, he's a free agent this year, and I can see them letting him walk, but he's going to get a great deal in free agency. He's played so well the last 2 years, but I could see, I don't know where he would go, but, you know, never know. And then the other big re-signing at the quarterback position was something I know I didn't expect. I don't know if you expected or not.
no, I was not.
I was shocked when I woke up this morning. I saw Cam Newton signs a 1-year deal with the Patriots, $14 million. But I thought they were going to go in the draft. I thought they were going to take Mac Jones or maybe Kyle Trask late, like second round. They didn't. They stuck with Cam. I don't think the offense worked out well with him. I think it's kind of a surprising move, especially with Belichick. He's such a smart guy, great football mind. So, what do you think about that?
I think the offense this year with the Patriots was one of the worst it's ever been. I mean, the whole offense relied on Brady, but then you get Cam, totally different type of quarterback. He's bigger and more mobile, but throwing wise, he's just not on Brady's level. But
Yeah.
the receivers they had weren't that great either. I mean, you had Bird, N'Keal Harry, Julian Edelman was hurt all year, so you didn't really have any good receivers. Not a great offense as the Patriots usually have. So there's not really much to work with Cam. I pretty much think the offense there was just all QB run designs.
Yeah, I mean, it just changed completely when Cam came in, and hopefully they can adjust next. Hopefully they don't adjust next year. You know, they can finish last in the division next year. So it's a weird re-signing for sure, but I think we're gonna get a lot of new signings this year, and that brings us into our next little spot of it. Free agency this year. We got guys on the market like Shaquille Barrett, Aaron Jones, Bud Dupree, Trey Hendrickson, Kenny Galladay, Jadeveon Clowney's back on the market, Joe
Corey
Thuney,
Davis.
Corey Davis, Corey Linsley, the center from the Packers, Matt Judon. What do you think about that one?
I mean, him and Yannick Ngakoue, I mean, they're both great players, but I feel like Judon's very inconsistent. I mean, for us, I mean, it's one game he shows up, the next game he doesn't. You don't get a consistent player out of him. So just like Zadarius Smith there, we're probably gonna let him go. I mean, we tried to pay him exactly what Zadarius is getting paid in Green Bay. Didn't take it. He wants more, and we're just not gonna give him that money. And then Yannick Ngakoue, I mean, he's a great player as well. I think he's probably more consistent than Judon was. I think if I had to choose between the two, I would take him, but we're probably going to have to let him go as well and try to find some other free agency player.
The Ravens need a receiver, man. They need a receiver, so.
Oh, we need a receiver, an O-line, and we need an edge rusher. I mean, I forget who. The Ravens were talking about picking up somebody, some edge rusher who's in the free agency. I have to look up who, but I don't remember. I mean, what do you think about the Jets? Who do you think they're going to get?
So the Jets have a ton of cap room this year, and I think that Joe Douglas, he looks like a genius right now because he saved that for this year when the free agency class is so much better. But I would predict 2 signings I'll give you 3 signings that I think will happen for the Jets. I think that we're gonna get Thuney or Lindsley because we have to keep the line better. We're gonna probably draft a new quarterback this year. Like, he wants to come into a good situation. I think we pick up Curtis Samuel because in that Kyle Shanahan, Michael LaFleur offense that we're running this year with Matt LaFleur's little brother, you need people that can just like rack is so important. You need yards after catch. So I think we'd sign Curtis Samuel. He's a fast receiver, super dynamic, like can play any position really. And I think that somehow Richard Sherman ends up on the Jets because all that man does is praise Robert Saleh, the Jets' new coach. And I think that he wants to be a Jet. I think that there's interviews of him saying like, yeah, New York's like doing great stuff out there. So I think he's gonna end up on the Jets and be a mentor to like young guys like Bryce Hall or whoever we take this year. So bless Austin. I think that this is definitely a defining offseason for Joe Douglas being our GM.
Going off of what I was saying about the Ravens getting an edge rusher, it was Carlos Dunlap. That's who they're interested in. Also, a surprise to me is we're putting Gus Edwards, our backup running back, in the restricted free agent tender, but so it's pretty much any team can pick him up. We can match that. I'm hoping we match it and get him back. He's a great running back. Definitely a power running back. Definitely a good goal line player. He's short yardage type guy. I mean, in the playoffs.
He complements J.K. Dobbins really, really well because J.K. Dobbins is so dynamic and get out in the open field, and then you get down to the 1 yard line. Like J.K. Dobbins can do that, but Gus Edwards can like really do that. That's his thing. Like he can get in there. He'll get a touchdown 9 out of 10 times at the 1 yard line. So I think you guys should bring him back as well.
Hoping we deal with that. And then the receiver, I'm hoping either Corey Davis or Kenny Galladay come to Baltimore. That'd be big for us. I mean, we clearly need a receiver for Lamar to help out there and do something big because the passing game just isn't there right now, and we just need it to get better.
I think Kenny Galladay would be a great signing for you guys. I think that should be your number 1 priority this offseason is getting Kenny Galladay to put a pen to paper in Baltimore because, like I was saying last week, the Ravens have so many deep threats, and their only like threat across the middle really is Mark Andrews. But like that, they can if there's only one person you can hit across the middle on a post route, they're gonna take it away every once in a while. So Kenny Galladay, probably maybe arguably the best route runner in football right now. So I think if he comes in, that'd be huge for Lamar and his development as a passer, not just a playmaker. And then he could be a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah. So that's all we have for this segment. We'll come back after this shortly.
Can talk about the NFL for literally days, bro.
Want to do free agency again?
Right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it. And then what do you want to cut out? I think instead of maybe like we'll do free agency again right now, and then we can talk about just the NBA and like the picture that it has right now.
Yeah.
Because like we were going to talk about Blake Griffin. Nets are definitely favorites, and then if we have a little bit of time at the end, we can talk about the All-Star game and how terrible that was. It was so bad. Obi Toppin got robbed in the dunk contest.
The dunk contest was like the worst I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it was terrible, and I think Cassius Stanley really got robbed in the beginning. He had the best dunk in the first round. He had the worst score, but in that final, Anthony Simons should not have won that. There's no way. I mean, Obi does an East Bay from the free throw line, and then he jumps up, tries to kiss the rim, doesn't even kiss the rim.
And like,
it was just terrible. Oh, it was so awful. But Steph Curry is the best shooter of all time. That's what we got out of that.
Oh, that was fun to watch. Actually, that was fun to watch.
Yeah, the 3-point contest was fun, and him and Dame just pulling from half court every other play.
And he just ends the game on a half court shot. Like,
yeah, like nothing, like easily.
Yeah, we're looking at Lee Hooker here, Marvin Jones.
Who I forgot about Mitchell Schwartz and Eric Fisher. They both
I forgot they got
let
released
go,
from Kansas City.
which is a stupid move, in my opinion. Like it's like how, you know, like you need to get your O line better, and you're giving away a number 1 pick, and like Mitchell Schwartz is a solid lineman, so.
All right, here we go. All right, we're back. We're gonna keep talking about free agency here because we got a lot more to talk about here. I mean, the Ravens this year, trying to figure out their team here, just like we said. They're going for another secondary player. They're looking for a Malik Hooker here. I think that's going to be a great pickup if Baltimore gets Malik Hooker, have another safety. I mean, you got a hard-hitting safety in Deshaun Elliott, the Joker. I mean, that guy is a hitter. This is the hardest hitting safety for the Ravens I've seen since Bernard Pollard. And Bernard Pollard literally knocked out Patriots running back in that 2012-2013 Super Bowl run in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. Speaking of safeties with the Jets, they tagged Marcus May. I thought Marcus May was going to get an extension, but they tagged him. I don't know what that means for his future with the team, but if he does stay, another person I can see the Jets targeting in free agency, his former teammate at Florida, Keanu Neal, the strong safety from the Falcons. Great hitter, you know, he can play really well. I think they would play well with each other. Teach Ashton Davis, the rookie from this year, a lot. So I think that'd be a good signing for the Jets. And then what we completely forgot to talk about last time, the Chiefs. You saw Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. He was running the entire time. He was scrambling. He had no protection.
Looked like Lamar.
He did look like Lamar, just a little bit slower. They released they released both their own tackles. You know, Eric Fisher, yes, he got hurt in the AFC Championship game, but he was playing great. And Mitchell Schwartz is also a great O-lineman, and now they're both free agents. They cut him. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. What do you think about that?
I think that's a terrible decision. Like you said, the Super Bowl was running all over the place. I mean, literally, Mahomes was creating offense for himself, trying to get passes out. He would have to run 20 to 30 yards backwards and then try to get 10 yards upfield and then try to chuck the ball to a receiver who's probably like triple covered at this point. So he was in a bad situation there. So getting rid of those guys is not going to be great for this team. I mean, maybe they'll get some draft picks and pick up some guys, but
I think with the Chiefs, like if they're getting rid of their best 2 linemen, it's clearly shown that they want to start over. They want to complete platoon swap, do 5 guys. And a free agent who just got released, who I think would go to Kansas City for a cheap deal. He's missed 8 games in 5 seasons. Kevin Zeitler, the guard from the Giants. He got cut yesterday, so I could see him going out to Kansas City, trying to win a Super Bowl, be a part of the Patrick Mahomes legacy, be a part of the Chiefs legacy for the next 10, 15 years. So I think that's an option. I think the draft is definitely an option. I don't know how many late round tackles there are or guards, but I think Corey Linsley, maybe the Packers center, could go there. Overall, it's just a weird decision.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to what you said about franchise tag, I'm not a fan of the franchise tag. I don't think the guys in the NFL are either. Going off of it, Allen Robinson gets franchise tagged by the Bears.
He wants out. He can't get out.
And that's why I think that's a terrible thing. I mean, clearly when a guy wants out, he doesn't want to be there, and then the franchise tag just to get him to stay there without getting the opportunity to leave is just pretty messed up. I just don't think it's right. I mean, if Allen Robinson was in the free agency, I mean, he could definitely be on a better team at least. I mean, he could have came to Baltimore. He could have went to a lot of places.
I knew that's where you were going with it, man. I want him in the Jets too, but yeah, I think it makes sense for the organizations, but it makes no sense for the players. You know, like maybe they tag Allen Robinson, right? Allen Robinson says he doesn't want to be there. He's said it already. He's liking tweets from every team in the NFL, but from the Bears' perspective, from the front office, you don't want to let a player like that just walk.
Yeah.
You're going to try and tag him, trade him, and then he gets an extension, like what the Texans did with Clowney and then trade him to the Seahawks. So that's where I think the franchise tag is correct, but morally it's awful for the players. It's pretty much saying hey, you're not good enough to get this full contract, so we are just going to tag you and trade you somewhere.
Yeah.
So I kind of agree with you on that. Who else do we have on the market? Not a lot of quarterbacks. We have guys like Ryan Fitzpatrick's on the market this year.
There's a lot of edge rushers.
A lot of edge rushers.
You got Yannick Ngakoue, Shaq Berry, Trey Hendricks, Dupree.
I think, where do you think that Dupree goes? You know, I think that's a toss-up because who knows how much money he's going to get because he tore his ACL. Like, nobody knows if he's going to come back the same. But I think he'll still get a great contract. He's a great edge rusher, super versatile. But I don't know how much he gets just based off his injury.
I don't know if he stays in Pittsburgh. I'm thinking he might go to either New York or Philly, get a better offer there. So I think his time in Pittsburgh might be done here.
I agree.
Another guy from the Steelers, Juju. I don't think Juju's going back to Pittsburgh. I really don't. I don't see Juju.
I don't either, but I also don't know where he's gonna go. You know, like I don't know where he'll end up. But
I don't know who wants TikTok boy really.
Yeah,
I know. I don't.
Everybody hates Juju, and like it's so sad because the guy's just living his life. Like he's like the most positive person ever. Like he's influenced the kids. But like, if you're an NFL fan and you're 18 or older, you hate Juju. He's just so annoying. He dances on people's logos. He's just so disrespectful.
I know my favorite part of the season was seeing him get rocked by Cincinnati and then losing that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that was not just me as a Ravens fan. That was me as a person seeing
Juju go down. You know. Another position that there's a really like probably a highly touted free agent at is running back. You got Aaron Jones of the Packers. What do you think about him?
Aaron Jones, ESPN says here he might go to the Cardinals, Dolphins, and the Packers. Those are the top three. I mean, the Cardinals, not the Cardinals, the Packers, I don't really know who they have as running back. I don't think he goes to the Cardinals because you got Kenyon Drake there. So you're good there, but maybe they take Aaron Jones as a number 2 guy. Maybe put him as the number 1 and then keep Kenyon Drake and you just have 2 good running backs in the backfield.
Yeah.
But I think the Dolphins definitely are the better option here. They definitely need a running back. I don't even know who they have.
You know, I think that I was thinking originally the Jets might sign him, but I think that not only the Jets, but like a lot of other teams learned their lesson about overpaying running backs because of the whole Le'Veon Bell situation. You know, comes back, gets a massive deal from the Jets, doesn't show up, and then he gets traded to the Chiefs. It's hard to spend money on a free agent running back when there's so many good ones in the draft that you can pick up. Because most running backs from college, they're going to be good in the NFL if you have a good offensive line. You know, if they can find holes and get places, they're going to be solid.
What do you think about Corey Davis? Where do you think he's going to go?
You know, I don't know. I could see him going back to the Titans. I think he works really well there. I think him and A.J. Brown complement each other really well. But if he goes somewhere, I could see him going to the Ravens, 100%.
That's a big hopeful there. But that's a big hope. I really hope he does come to Baltimore. But that's all the time we got for this one here. We're coming back shortly with our last segment of the day, talking about the NBA. So our last segment of here today, we're going to talk about the NBA, and we're going to start off this one talking about the Blake Griffin signing to the Nets. That's a really big move there. I honestly think all of this is just to beat a 36-year-old LeBron James.
I mean, I agree with you in a way, but that team's going to be tough to beat. I mean, they don't have a lot of a bench, but they're just that starting 5. You have Kyrie Irving, all-star starter. James Harden, all-star 6-man. Kevin Durant, all-star captain. Blake Griffin, former all-star, former dunk contest champion. Kind of fell off a little bit, but I do think he's going to have a good career with the Nets because his play style fits them very well. Then you have DeAndre Jordan, who's one of the best rim protectors and rebounders in the league. So I think that I think personally, as much as I hate to say this as a Knicks fan, the Nets are clear-cut favorites to win the championship this year. Do you think that the Lakers rank supreme and go back-to-back?
Oh, I don't see it happening. I mean, the Lakers have been struggling lately.
They need Anthony Davis back.
They definitely do. You can see it's a big factor in the game.
Yeah.
Without AD, the Lakers are just nothing really. I mean, the Jazz are running the West right now, and for the 76ers and for the Nets to get Blake Griffin, I mean, the 76ers are the number 1 in the East right now, but for the Nets to get Blake Griffin, I feel like if the 76ers don't make a big move or something,
the 76ers definitely need another star. I mean, they have a great big three. They have Ben Simmons, best two-way player in the league probably.
Embiid, definitely
Embiid,
MVP.
probably MVP this year, and Tobias Harris has been playing really well as of late too. They're a half a game ahead of the Nets right now, but I don't see that lasting very long. I think they're going to end up the 2 or 3 seed. I think the top 3 in the East is obvious. It's going to be Sixers, Nets, and Bucks. But you know, that after that is where it gets kind of interesting because you have 4 teams from 4 to 7 who are all half a game apart in record. You know, the Celtics are at the 4 seed, the Heat are at the 5, the Hornets are at the 6, the Knicks are at the 7. And this is, I'm so happy about it because this is the most competitive that the Eastern Conference has been in a while.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like there was talks about Kyle Lowry going to the 76ers. There was a few more guys talking about going to the 76ers, but news have not been made yet. I'm waiting on it to see what kind of happens there. A team that actually is surprising to me that is actually in the playoff run is definitely the Hornets. They're said to be like the 2018 Nets, just out there having fun, winning games, and making the playoffs too. So that's actually interesting. You know, LaMelo Ball leads the rookies in almost every single stat. So
I think he leads in points per game, assists per game, rebounds per game, and steals per game, which is just nuts. The only thing he doesn't have is his name in his blocks.
right, yeah.
But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna defend my rookie for the Knicks. Manuel Quickley's playing 12 less minutes than him a game, and he is like second in every category. So I think that he's the real rookie of the year, but LaMelo's gonna win it.
I think if Anthony Edwards didn't get hurt, or James Wiseman didn't get hurt, him and Anthony Edwards, I feel like one of those two could definitely been rookie of the year. But
I mean, Anthony Edwards had a great game last night. He had 27 against the Pelicans. So he's tough. You know, there's a ton of young talent in the league, and this rookie class is really, really good. So I think the Hornets deserve everything. You know, they brought in Gordon Hayward this year, great veteran to lead your team, and I think it was the best decision for Gordon Hayward's career to get out of Boston too. He was like the third option there. Then he came off the bench, and now he's the number 1 guy. Like he's the guy in Charlotte besides LaMelo. So I think that the Hornets have been surprising this year, but you know, looking back on it, if you look at their roster, it's not as surprising as some may think.
A team that's been struggling a bit here, the Golden State Warriors. I mean, yeah, you see the video last night. Curry is
screaming
not
at everybody.
happy in Golden State. Some people think that Curry might. I think Curry's done. And Golden State's contract runs out either this season or the next. And some people are thinking that he may team up with LeBron at some point in LA.
You know, I'd love to see it. I think it'd be super exciting to see, but I don't see Curry leaving Golden State. I feel like that's his home. You know,
Okay.
he's the best player in their franchise history. He's the best shooter of all time. He's won the 3-point contest last weekend. You know, I think that he's done all that in Golden State. He's gonna want to finish in Golden State, kind of like Kobe did with just the Lakers.
I mean, once he gets Clay back, I think they'll be better, have a better chance of making the playoffs and stuff. I mean, is Clay supposed to come back this season?
I think he's out for the whole season.
Out
but
for the whole season.
I think that the key to the Warriors really is, like, we know Curry and Clay are going to do their thing. They're both great shooters. They're both great players. Development of their younger players, like, they're not going to be as good this year. They're going to get another lottery pick. They need to hit on James Wiseman. James Wiseman needs to develop. They need to hit on whoever they pick this year. I don't know who it's going to be. They could probably use a 3. Andrew Wiggins isn't cutting it. He sucks. But yeah. I think that the Warriors could be very good again, like easily. You know, Draymond Green still on the team, and he's just the heart of the Warriors. So I don't see Curry leaving, but I can definitely see and feel his frustration coming from playing with a team like that after you've won so much.
Yeah, I mean, him without Clay, you can clearly see it's a determining factor. Splash Brothers without the other brother, it's just Curry. It's just Splash Man, and he can't do it all. I mean,
Splash
clearly,
Man.
Splash Man Curry.
Splash Man Curry.
He can't do it all, so
Yeah.
he definitely needs help around him. Because with Wiseman, they were winning games, and then once he went down, losing a big like that, it really hurts a team. You can clearly see it there. So that's gonna be bad for him and bad for the team. But the top seeds right now are Utah and Philly. I'm kind of surprised with the way Utah's playing. Actually, a real shocker to me is the Suns. Chris Paul, Devin Booker.
I knew the Suns were going to be good as soon as they got Chris Paul. I was like, that's what that team needs. They're so young. They got great talent. I mean, probably the best young talent in the league. Like arguably maybe them and the Timberwolves. But they have Booker. They have DeAndre Ayton.
Mikal Bridges.
There's another one. What's his name? They had a lot of good picks, and they developed those players really well. They needed a leader, and who's a better leader in the NBA right now than Chris Paul? So I knew as soon as they got Chris Paul, they were going to be really, really good. And I'm not as surprised as you are, I don't think.
Yeah, I was a bit surprised there.
The Jazz, like you said, also super great this year. Donovan Mitchell's playing amazing.
Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. And then you got Mike Conley, too, playing the All-Star game. Speaking of the All-Star game, we can just talk about the dunk contest for like probably 10-15 seconds, but Obi Toppin got robbed. Anthony Simons did not deserve that win at all.
I feel like the past few dunk contests, these guys
been pretty
have been
bad.
robbed.
They've been pretty bad.
Especially Aaron Gordon. I mean, he got robbed 2 years, so that's just shows a lot there.
Yeah. That just about wraps it up, though, right?
Yeah.
So you guys can listen live at cougarradio.net. Follow us on Instagram and give us a like on Facebook at Cougar Radio. And you can subscribe to our YouTube and Spotify to watch and listen to all our podcasts.
Thank you for listening, tuning in with me and Sean. We'll be back here next Friday, 3 p.m. Talk about more sports news around the world. Thank you and peace out.